This girl is a professional heartbreaker catcher. She uses information from her clients to dress like the type that bad boys like. Then she sets up perfect love traps for them, based on how difficult the case is. She offers different service packages to clients. Unlike regular breakup agencies, they only steal the partner away. The client then decides whether to break up or forgive. This protects the client's interests completely. Today's client is Risa, who suffers from domestic violence. Her boyfriend is very controlling. He gets mad if Risa doesn't answer his calls. He won't let her talk to any other men. Even looking at a delivery guy for 3 seconds means she's cheating. Risa just brought the food inside. Her boyfriend asks, "What did you talk about? Was it necessary to smile so much at a delivery guy? Did you forget your boyfriend is home?" Risa says, "Nothing, I just thanked him." Her boyfriend says, "You're lying. Who are you trying to fool?" He hits her without listening to explanations. Risa once tried to ask for help. A college friend is now a lawyer, but because it's a family matter, the friend didn't want to get involved. The lawyer says, "Sorry, I can't give you good advice." Risa, "It's okay, thanks anyway." Later the lawyer even blocks Risa. Asanuma says this friend has no professional ethics. Asanuma says, "Your friend is the worst lawyer. How did such a person pass the bar exam when I couldn't?" Hinako explains, "He always wanted to be a lawyer, but failed." Asanuma says, "I only failed 3 times. After learning the basic information, Hinako decides to start immediately. Risa looks confused. She asks rudely, "Are you the one who'll steal him away?" Hinako says yes. Risa says no offense, but he probably wouldn't like someone like you. Hinako says, "Don't worry, if he likes you, I can definitely win him over." Asanuma quickly explains for Hinako. Hinako may look ordinary, but she has a 100% success rate, and the agency only charges after the job is done, so Risa can relax. He asks Risa to share her boyfriend's social media accounts. Using the info, Hinako quickly figures out his ideal type. "I got it. He likes trainee beauticians around his age or slightly older. They act pure, but talk a lot when drunk. Playful, but shy about dirty jokes. Looks innocent, but dresses a bit revealing to attract guys." This is just Hinako's first analysis. He's weak to physical touch and tears. Overall difficulty rating, C level. After ignoring Risa all night, her boyfriend acts cold. When he comes home the next day, he says, "You get inside." Hinako says, "I'm so sorry, it's all my fault." She pretends to be Risa's best friend. She says she had a breakup and needed Risa's company. Hinako tells Risa to let her handle everything. Risa just needs to agree occasionally. But seeing her boyfriend flirt with Hinako hurts. Risa feels uncomfortable. Hinako warned her not to show anger even if she feels upset. Risa says, "No way, I'm the one breaking up with him." Hinako says, "I hope you mean that after 2 cases of beer Risa still gets annoyed watching them flirt." Now they're ignoring Risa completely. Then Asanuma calls. Asanuma pretends to be Risa's department manager. He lies about an emergency meeting. He tells Risa to come to the office immediately. Hinako asks if something happened. "Is it really that urgent?" Risa says yes. Hinako says, "What a shame. But your work is more important." Risa's boyfriend agrees. "You're right." Risa says sorry. After they walk Hinako downstairs, Risa hurries away. The two left behind exchange contact info. Pretending to be tipsy, Hinako tells Risa's boyfriend the reason she broke up with her ex was because she found out he liked Risa. Risa's boyfriend says, "Huh, you're joking, right?" Hinako says, "Can't blame him. Risa's cute and kind. She has all the qualities I don't." Risa's boyfriend says, "That's not true. No, you're actually more." Hinako texts Risa's boyfriend, "Nice meeting you, don't you also wish we weren't going home yet?" He replies, "Me too." Meanwhile, Risa keeps worrying if her boyfriend will hook up with Hinako. Well, who knows? A week later, the agency reports mission accomplished. Seeing Risa's boyfriend's final text saying sorry, everything seems to be over, until Risa's ex calls her. Risa says hello. Her ex says Risa. Risa asks, are things going well with her? Her ex yells, "Hell, no. What's wrong with that crazy woman?" Risa asks, "What happened?" Turns out Hinako's plan was fight fire with fire. She became an overly controlling girlfriend. Hinako demands, "What were you talking about with that delivery girl? Answer me." Risa says, "Looks like someone's a perfect match for this." Risa's ex-boyfriend says, Can you tell Hinako to stop bothering me?" Hinako grabs the phone on purpose and says, "Why did you change your number? What are you doing outside instead of going home? You're not thinking of leaving me, are you? Don't even dream about it." No matter where you go, I'll find you. I bet he won't even dare to call Risa now. With that, the case is finally closed. After paying the fee, Risa doesn't plan to leave. Risa says, I work here. She now realizes she has bad taste in men. She always ends up with losers. She hopes to learn how to spot good men here. She also wants to know why she's not as good as Hanako. Her boyfriend of 2.5 years was stolen by Hanako in just 2.5 hours. She's not happy about it, so I want to stay here and improve my charm. I hope to surpass Miss Hanako one day. Only then can I truly grow. Asanuma asks Hanako for her opinion. Hanako thinks it's fine. After all, the office only has 2 people. Having an extra helper is nice. Those who often break up couples know the hardest part is stealing the boyfriend first, and Hanako is an expert at this. She makes different plans for different types of guys. After succeeding, she charges based on how hard the job was. So far her success rate is 100%. But today she meets a strange client. Her boyfriend is very handsome, highly educated, and a chief doctor at a famous hospital. He's basically the perfect man. Risa says, wow, amazing. A rare catch, for sure. Olivia works at the same hospital as her boyfriend, Bob. They're even in the same department. She wants to break up with Bob before their coworkers find out about their relationship. Asanuma asks, is it because office romance isn't allowed? Olivia says, it's not that office romance is forbidden, but my head nurse happens to be Bob's ex-girlfriend, and she seems to still have feelings for him. It would be awkward working together every day. Risa says, now that you mention it, that sounds like a total nightmare. Olivia explains, there was a nurse who got transferred by the head nurse. After rumors spread about her and Bob, now the head nurse gets suspicious whenever any girl gets close to Bob. So Olivia and Bob have to keep their relationship secret, which makes Olivia nervous at work every day. Risa thinks a guy like Bob, who has many rumors and can't handle them properly, should be avoided, no matter how great he seems. Olivia quickly explains Bob was the one who pursued her. She just didn't know how to say no. Plus, she really admires the head nurse, and wondered what's so special about the man she liked. Don't most girls think that way? Risa says, no way. I'd never think like that. After dating Bob, Olivia realizes he's perfect in every way, but way too full of himself because he's handsome. He loves being the center of attention. Now she totally regrets it. Hanako whispers, that type of guy is the worst. But now Bob refuses to break up, and she doesn't want to quit her job, so she came here for help. Hanako checks Bob's social media and asks how long they've been dating. 3 months. Hanako says, you didn't need to waste money coming to our agency. Olivia asks, what do you mean? After analyzing Bob's posts, they find out he changes hobbies every 6 months, and every time he posts about it, it seems related to relationships. They guess his relationships last about half a year. Olivia says, that's too long to wait. Olivia refuses to wait 3 months. She wants to break up now, as fast as possible. Risa tells her to think carefully. The fee isn't small. She says waiting 3 months would save a lot of money. But Olivia is firm. She doesn't care about the cost. She's even willing to pay up front. Hanako asks Asanuma to explain the pricing. Olivia casually throws 1,000,000 yen on the table. Seeing her determination, Hanako takes the money without hesitation. Since Bob's social media has little info, Hanako asks Olivia some questions. Combined with his online activity, she figures out Bob likes girls who look pure, stylish and gentle, kind, well-mannered and smart, a bit sexy and open-minded too, and he can't resist girls who act cute. But his pride is strong. He'd never accept being the one dumped. Olivia exclaims, that's exactly him. Hanako says, then, let me steal your boyfriend. Asanuma happily counts the money. Risa doesn't get why Olivia is in such a hurry. Hanako ignores her, focused on planning. Suddenly, she turns the AC to max heat, then turns on the heater and kettle at the same time. After boxing and cycling intensely, she ends up in the hospital. Olivia visits worried and grateful. She never expected Hanako would go this far to meet Bob. Hanako says, don't feel bad. I'm paid for this. It's nothing new. She's used to it. Risa is also amazed. Risa asks Hanako if it's worth putting so much effort into this job. Asanuma says honestly he really admires Hanako's work ethic. Not wanting to lose, Risa decides to learn from Hanako. She hopes to catch up to her soon. Hanako starts practicing boxing but hurts her hand after just one punch on the sandbag. Asanuma teases her, saying she still has a long way to go. The next day Bob asks Olivia about Hanako's condition after her hospital admission. Olivia says she's much more stable now. Bob invites Olivia to check on Hanako together. Suddenly head nurse Suzuki appears. Head nurse Suzuki says, "I'll go with you." Bob says, "Head nurse Suzuki, you must be very busy. Olivia can go with me." Head nurse Suzuki insists, "I'm not busy, I'll go." "Olivia, you can handle other tasks first. Come on, Dr. Bob." Bob says, "Never mind, I'll go alone." Head nurse Suzuki pleads, "Let's go together. I'm really not busy." Bob replies, "I appreciate the offer." Olivia awkwardly walks away. Head nurse Suzuki glares at her with hostility. Bob asks Hanako to extend her right hand so he can check her pulse. After confirming her stable condition, he suggests she can be discharged in 2 days. Hanako says she still feels a bit dizzy. Bob assures her it's nothing serious. The symptoms will naturally fade after 2 days of rest. Hanako secretly touches Bob's hand and says, "Doctor, you're really so kind." Just as Bob is stunned by this moment, head nurse Suzuki appears again like a ghost. She informs Bob that the director has called a meeting the next day. In the hospital hallway, Bob pulls Olivia aside. He scolds her for not answering calls or messages. Ignoring him won't solve anything. Hanako suddenly shows up and helps Olivia escape the situation. Olivia thanks Hanako for helping her. Hanako tells Olivia not to upset Bob too much. People like him can become scary when they get extreme. Hanako hasn't been at the office for days. Asanuma is almost losing his mind. Their workload isn't usually heavy, but Risa feels guilty doing nothing all day. She keeps posting ads for their office on forums. More orders come in, but no one can handle them. Now they only get complaint calls. Asanuma orders Risa to stop immediately. If this continues, Asanuma can't start stealing boyfriends too. But Hanako gives Asanuma a secret mission. She probably notices something's wrong with Olivia. She asks Asanuma to investigate Olivia. This works out well. Now Asanuma doesn't have to deal with complaints and Risa can experience his daily stress. As soon as Asanuma leaves, the phone rings. This is Cat Agency. "Do you think our forum is your personal Twitter?" Risa says, "I'm so sorry." At the hospital, Hanako finds head nurse. She says she accidentally spilled water on the sheets. She asks for new ones. Then she casually asks if Bob is the doctor on duty today. Head nurse says another doctor is working tonight. Is something wrong? Hanako says, "No, just curious." Meanwhile, Bob notices Olivia acting strange. He follows her quietly. Suddenly, head nurse calls him. She tells him to return to the hospital urgently. Earlier at the office, Risa stays behind and almost goes crazy. Answering complaint calls. Risa snaps at the phone. "We're closed now. Call back tomorrow." Risa realizes it's Hanako on the phone. Hanako says, "Well, I need to ask you a favor." Risa replies, "I'll do it." Hanako gives Risa a mission. Pretend to be Bob's ex-girlfriend who was tricked out of money and love. Go to the hospital and make a scene to demand answers. Seeing Risa acting like a crazy woman who won't listen, the head nurse tells Bob to return to the hospital immediately. Meanwhile, Olivia is meeting with a mysterious man. Since Bob has too many ex-girlfriends, he can't tell if this one is real or fake. He carefully listens outside the door, trying to recognize the voice, but the unfamiliar voice makes him even more curious. Risa says, "Who are you?" Bob replies, "Hey, that's my line." Turns out it was a false alarm. Risa says she went to the wrong hospital and mistook him for someone else. As Bob walks back, Hanako is already waiting in the hallway for him to pass by. Bob asks, "What's going on? Why are you here so late?" Hanako says, "I couldn't sleep, so I came out for a walk." Bob reminds her that leaving her room at night isn't allowed. Just then a security guard walks by. Hanako grabs Bob's arm to hide this. Physical contact becomes a starting point. Hanako then asks Bob to take her back to her room. Seeing her cute and shy expression, Bob can't say no. Bob signals Hanako to be quiet. The nurse station is on the way back to the room. They sneak past while the head nurse isn't looking. Hanako purposely knocks something over to make noise. They quickly crouch down. Hanako whispers, "My heart is beating so fast." This kind of interaction secretly makes them like each other more. After successfully returning to the room, while Bob's heart is still racing, Hanako signals for Bob to sit by her bed and rest under the dim light. The air around them feels more intimate. After all these moves, Bob is completely worn out. Soon Hanako's room becomes Bob's favorite spot. Whenever he has free time, he comes here to relax. At this point, Olivia's plan is almost complete, but Hanako is still curious. Who was the man Olivia met that night? Did Olivia break up with Bob because she fell for someone else? Olivia quickly denies it. Alan was her first love. Even though they broke up years ago, they stayed close friends. They share everything with each other. Whenever she feels down, she talks to him. Alan never complains. But everything changed when Alan suddenly confessed his feelings. Compared to Bob, Alan is clearly the better match for Olivia. Olivia asks, "Have you read the Belgian book The Bluebird?" The main characters travel the world searching for the bird of happiness. But in the end they find the blue bird was at home all along. She believes Alan is her bluebird. Olivia hid this from Hinako at first, because she was afraid Hinako would refuse the job. Hinako tells her not to worry. They'll still take Bob away as planned. But they need Hinako's help. The next day Asanuma disguises himself as a phone repairman. Head nurse Suzuki questions him. Asanuma says, didn't the admin office inform you? Olivia says, "Sorry, they called me yesterday. I forgot to tell you." With Olivia's help, Asanuma sneaks into the hospital. He tells everyone not to use the phones for now. Then he checks his watch. Based on Hinako's info, Bob must be in Hinako's room right now. It's almost 2 o'clock. Hinako hugs Bob playfully, like she always does. She secretly takes his phone from his pocket. She calls the nurse station. Seeing it's Bob's phone calling, Asanuma answers and puts it on speaker. Bob says, "I've dated many girls before, but Hinako is the most charming one I've met. Too bad, you're leaving the hospital soon. I'll miss you." "Me too. How about I use my power as your doctor to delay your discharge?" The head nurse quickly hangs up. Asanuma awkwardly says he was just testing something. Then someone called the head nurse turns and asks Olivia to come with her to the room. Everyone is shocked to see Bob and Hinako being so close. Bob can't explain himself and runs away embarrassed. He goes back to his office. Bob frowns, feeling ashamed. If this spreads, he'll be too embarrassed to show his face. But from the strange looks around him, he realizes it's already too late. A coworker jokes, "You actually went after a patient." Bob says, "What do you mean? Miss Hinako is the most charming woman I've ever met." The coworker tells him to keep his phone safe next time and not to accidentally turn on the speaker. Bob quickly checks his phone. Seeing the recent call log, he realizes everything was broadcast live, with Bob's reputation ruined. Olivia peacefully breaks up with him. The head nurse comforts her. "Don't be sad over a man like that." Olivia asks, "You knew?" The head nurse already knew about Olivia and Bob's secret relationship. Even though Olivia tried to hide it, Bob's flashy personality made it obvious. Olivia quickly apologizes. The head nurse says, "Don't quit because of this." The head nurse tells Olivia to forget about quitting her job. She doesn't want more nurses to quit because of Bob. It's wrong that because of one bad guy, the nursing station keeps losing valuable team members. Olivia asks, "Do I really not need to resign?" The head nurse says, "I think it's completely unnecessary." Olivia says, "But didn't they say you still have feelings for Dr. Bob?" The head nurse asks, "Me? How could I let a man like that hold me back?" Actually, all those rumors about the head nurse still liking Bob were started by the head nurse herself. She wanted to protect younger nurses from getting hurt by Bob, but it didn't seem to work. The head nurse says, "Anyway, we're both failures in love, so we should take care of each other from now on." Olivia says, "Okay, I'll be in your care." The request is successfully completed. Olivia thanks Hinako for her help. Hinako asks if she's contacted Alan recently. Olivia says, "I plan to see him after work today." Hinako takes out the book, The Blue Bird, from her bag and gives it to Olivia. She wishes Olivia good luck with Alan. But when Olivia goes to Alan's place after work, she finds his apartment empty. His phone number is no longer in service. Asanuma asks Hinako, "Why didn't you tell Olivia that Alan moved?" Hinako says that wasn't part of their agreement. Alan was transferred to another city for work. At this moment Olivia realizes she thought Alan was her bluebird, but it was just her wishful thinking. To Alan, Olivia wasn't as important as his job. When she reads The Blue Bird again, she understands, though the story ends with the blue bird flying away. The author wrote more after that. There are thousands of kinds of happiness in the world. Love is just one of them. This girl thinks her boyfriend might be creepy, so while he's showering she sneaks. She sneaks into his bedroom quietly. She turns on her phone flashlight. She finds creepy dolls all over his room. In a drawer she finds her confiscated phone, but it's locked and she can't get it out. She thinks, "Am I being held captive?" All the windows are locked too. She realizes she might really be trapped. She wants to call the police for help, but she worries it might be a misunderstanding. So she logs into a forum instead. She hopes to find another solution. Suddenly, she sees Hinako Studio's phone number. She decides to call them just to try. I heard you can take my lover away." Asanuma listens to her situation. This case seems difficult. Isabella only met her boyfriend 3 months ago. After moving in, her phone was taken away. She can't give any useful information. She doesn't even know what area she's in. Hinako tells her to look for clues about her location. Then Isabella notices something. Her boyfriend is watching her, so she hangs up. Is she in danger? She's probably being held captive. This makes Hinako shiver with fear. Her friend Linka disappeared the same way 4 years ago. Linka, where are you now? I'm sorry, Hinako. Linka, hello. 2.5 months ago, Isabella was a runaway girl in Japan. This is a special group. They are girls who have no place to live. They find strangers online who offer them food and shelter. Most Kamimaki girls are underage. They run away from home for different reasons. They share their location in online forums or chat groups. Then they wait for a god to take them in. Isabella met Oscar through a chat group when her stepmom got pregnant. Isabella's dad's company went bankrupt. The family lost everything, and Isabella had to drop out of school. Her stepmom wanted to abort the baby. She told Isabella's dad that one child was enough for the family. They couldn't afford another child. Isabella blames herself. She feels she took away her siblings' chance to be born, so she ran away from home. After hearing her story, Oscar comforts her right away. Then he takes her to his place. He decides to let her stay. Oscar lives alone in a huge 5,000 square meter house. He tells Isabella to make herself at home. But there's one rule. To stay long-term, she must hand over her phone. He assures her he'll give her a spare phone. Instead, she can still call and go online. Since Isabella ran away, if her parents report her missing, police might track her phone's GPS. Oscar could be accused of kidnapping. Isabella asks him, if the risk is so high, why take me in? She jokes that his skills make him seem like a repeat offender. Oscar says, because I'm lonely. 10 years ago, Oscar's family of 4 was happy, but his sister died in a car accident. After that, his parents fought often. His mom left, and his dad moved abroad. Now he lives alone in this big house. It's natural for Oscar to feel lonely. Oscar says it's silly for someone almost 30 to talk about feeling lonely. Doesn't it sound ridiculous? Isabella says not at all. Feeling lonely without family around is normal. It's only natural. After connecting emotionally, Isabella willingly hands Oscar her phone. Maybe because she's not used to the new place. Isabella gets sick. Oscar takes care of her the whole time. After spending days together, their bond grows quickly. Oscar says, thank you. Because Isabella came, he doesn't feel lonely anymore. Me too. Before they know it, 2.5 months pass. Isabella asks Oscar to return her phone. She wants to check on her friends. Oscar says, I explained this clearly before, right? Isabella reassures Oscar she'll use the phone in a remote place. Oscar still refuses. He thinks if her parents contacted her friends during this time, calling them now would reveal her location. Seeing Isabella insist on getting her phone back, Oscar switches to manipulative mode. He says, so you want to leave me too? Huh, sigh. You're just like the other kids who stayed here. You all promised never to leave me. But in the end you all wanted to go home. Isabella says, I won't leave you. Don't overthink it. Really? Yes. Another half-month passes quickly. As usual, Isabella lies on the couch playing games. She suddenly notices the sunny weather outside. When she tries to open the window for fresh air, the alarm goes off. Hearing the alarm sound, Oscar quickly comes running. Isabella says, sorry, I just wanted some fresh air. He hurriedly closes the window. He tells Isabella that if she wants ventilation, there's a special fan in the house. She just needs to turn it on. Oscar explains that since he lives alone, he's afraid of burglars. So he installed alarms on all windows. But seeing such tight security measures makes Isabella feel uneasy. So while Oscar is showering, she sneaks into his room to find her phone. When she sees her phone locked away, she becomes even more suspicious of Oscar. She considers calling the police, but worries it might be a misunderstanding. By chance, she finds Hanako's work number. After hearing the situation, Hanako wants to help Isabella, but doesn't know how. Plus, they're already handling another case. A girl named Mary offers them 1 million yen to steal her boyfriend back. Her boyfriend is a politician's son while Mary works at a nightclub. Recently, his mother offered Mary 1 million yen to leave her son. Knowing their different social statuses and not wanting to hurt his career, Mary agreed, but she can't bring herself to break up, so she's been avoiding him. She hopes Hanako can make him fall for someone else. She offers the full 1 million as payment. Hanako thinks it's easy, so she only charges 100,000 yen as a basic fee. She lets Risa take full responsibility for this job. Risa happily thanks Hanako. This is the first time she gets a solo mission. It means Hinako recognizes her improvement. Hinako says, "Actually, I'm just forcing you to grow up faster." Risa says, "You got my hopes up for nothing." She asks Hinako where she's going. Hinako says she rarely gets time off. She wants to take a few days off. Asanuma feels something isn't right. This is the first time. Hardworking Hinako leaves everything to others. But Hinako still does her best to help. She shares all her research with Risa. Risa just needs to follow the steps in the guide. They enroll Risa in William's English class to get close to him. Risa wears the same perfume as Mary. This makes William feel comfortable around her. Then she borrows class notes from William to talk more. She even wears the same shoes as Mary. This is all part of Hinako's plan. The plan helps people feel close to her. These tricks will at least make him remember her. Then follow the guide's next step. William likes when girls smile while touching their hair. Risa does exactly that. The guide also says, pretend to fall near the boy. This creates their first physical contact. Then look up at him with deep eyes. After these moves, any boy would be confused. Back at the office, Asanuma asks about Risa's progress. Risa says Hinako's guide works perfectly. William already agreed to have dinner with her. Winning a guy's heart follows a simple formula. She wishes she knew earlier. But Hinako really hasn't come to the office for days. The next day, Risa dresses up nicely for her dinner with William. She arrives early at the meeting spot. William arrives late and apologizes to Risa. Sorry, he thought about it all night. He decides he can't betray Mary. Mary just stopped contacting him recently, but they never officially broke up. Though Risa and Mary have many similarities, they're not the same person. Risa awkwardly suggests discussing this after dinner. William says he can't wait another minute. Then William quickly runs away. Risa feels completely heartbroken and embarrassed. Asanuma comforts Risa, saying she did her best. Just then Hinako returns to the office. Risa quickly apologizes to Hinako. Her failure this time ruined Hinako's perfect success rate. Hinako tells her not to worry. Hinako says, "It's okay. I never expected you to succeed. My success rate is still 100%. Actually, Hinako never stopped working. During her break, she visited a fortune teller. She heard that when her friend Linka disappeared 4 years ago, a fortune teller was at the scene. He saw a girl who looked just like Linka. The fortune teller asks, "Are you a cop?" Hinako says, "No, I just love solving mysteries." The fortune teller raises his price. He tells Hinako to buy 3 more books for clues. Hinako says, "I'll buy all your books," to find her missing friend Linka. Hinako and her tech-savvy partner Asanuma started a detective agency just for women. Hinako's relationship cases always have a 100% success rate. She studies what men like and changes her looks and personality. She even puts herself in dangerous situations to help women in trouble. She risks everything to save them. Today's client, Isabella, is a mic girl. She's homeless and Oscar kindly took her in. But soon Isabella feels more like a prisoner. Still, she worries she might be overthinking things. So she asks Hinako's team to investigate. Hinako tells Isabella her method for solving love problems is stealing. She completely ends bad relationships. This reveals the true nature of bad boyfriends. Oscar suddenly interrupts their call. He asks who Isabella is talking to. Isabella gives vague answers. She tells Oscar it was a wrong number. They asked if I was Jane. Maybe they wanted the girl who stayed here before. Oscar says that's impossible. Every time a new girl moves in, the old phone number gets canceled. Isabella pretends not to understand. She secretly deletes the call history, then changes the subject, saying she wants to shower back at Hinako's office. Risa wants to call back. Asanuma stops her. He says calling back suddenly might put Isabella in danger. Risa suggests calling the police. Asanuma points out Isabella called them instead of the police. She must have her reasons. They should wait for Isabella to call again next morning. Isabella asks Oscar to buy a bubble machine. She saw a manga where a couple plays with bubbles in their yard. She wants to try it too. Oscar says they can just use soap and a straw. Isabella isn't satisfied. She wants to make giant bubbles. "I'll buy it for you another day." "No, I want it now. Go buy it for me." Seeing Isabella act cute, Oscar has no choice but to agree. After watching Oscar leave, Isabella calls Hinako's office again. Hinako quickly answers the phone. She asks if Isabella got hurt. Isabella says she's completely fine. In fact, her boyfriend is very kind to her. Hinako tells her to keep it short. Just explain her needs and situation simply. After getting basic information, Hinako suggests Isabella call the police. But Isabella worries that if she does, Oscar might get arrested as a kidnapper. No way. Police involvement would make things worse. What if I'm just overthinking? Hanako asks if Isabella feels unwell. Isabella remembers when she first moved in she could go out with Oscar at first, but she always got sick after going outside. Oscar blamed Tokyo's bad air quality. He said her body wasn't used to it. Later he slowly stopped letting her go out. Hanako says that's nonsense. Oscar might be drugging Isabella. Isabella gasps in shock. She asks Hanako what to do next, since they met in the mic chat group. Asanuma tells her to send the group name and location. Isabella hesitates a little. She's unsure if she should trust Hanako. Risa reassures her, saying she was once their client too. If Hanako gets involved, she'll definitely solve the problem. Asanuma quickly finds Isabella's location. He tells Hanako to join the mic group. Isabella asks what she needs to do next. Asanuma tells her to just trust them. He says she only needs to wait patiently. After hanging up, Hanako quickly gets ready to act. The next day, while blowing bubbles in the yard, Oscar receives a call from a stranger. Hanako pretends to be a homeless girl. She learned in the group chat that Oscar offers shelter. Oscar glances at Isabella. He tells Hanako he's already taken in one girl. He can't help another. Hearing this, Isabella realizes it's Hanako calling. She tells Oscar she doesn't mind. She understands how lonely homeless girls feel. Being alone outside is hard. Since Isabella agrees, Oscar has no reason to refuse. He tells Hanako to stay put. He'll pick her up in 5 minutes. After hanging up, Oscar rushes out. The moment he leaves, Asanuma and Risa ring the doorbell. They tell Isabella to pack quickly to avoid triggering the alarm. Asanuma signals her to climb over the gate. This gate is useless, just climb over. Isabella hesitates, feeling a little sad. Oscar said 5 minutes, but he drives from day to night. Hanako, dressed as a student, waits for hours. She says, "Thank goodness, I thought you stood me up. I'd have to sleep on the street." Oscar says no way. To apologize, he offers Hanako a drink. He tells her to pick anyone. Hanako says, "Mr. Oscar, you're my savior." Oscar replies, "Don't flatter me, just pick one." While choosing a drink, Hanako notices Oscar's car. She remembers what the fortune teller told her. For years ago, when Linka disappeared, a white luxury car was seen nearby. The man inside had black hair and was tall. Oscar seems to match this description. Meanwhile, Isabella looks worried. Risa keeps asking her too many questions. She feels like she's being tricked. They don't even know each other. She hasn't paid them any money. Why are they being so helpful? They seem eager to separate her from Oscar. Is Hanako trying to take her place? And this talkative woman beside her seems very suspicious. Asanuma says, "Risa, stop talking. No one thinks you're mute." They are. They really helping me? Isabella grows more suspicious of them. How could it be a coincidence that she saw Hanako's ad on the mic forum? Her head starts to hurt. She feels close to figuring it out. Oscar has been so kind to her, but these people make her think he's a bad person. She feels a chill down her spine. She opens the car door to escape. She wants to reclaim her happiness. Meanwhile, Oscar takes Hanako home. He can't find Isabella anywhere. He panics seeing the empty bedroom. He wonders why everyone leaves him. He's always been kind and reliable. "I treat you all so well." Suddenly he realizes something. Being gentle and caring isn't enough to win a girl's heart. Hanako pretends not to know what happened. Hanako asks Oscar where the other girl went. Oscar tells Hanako that the girl has left and she won't come back. "So I'm the only one left." "Yeah, now it's just you. So, please don't leave me." Oscar stuns Hanako with a taser. Oscar ties Hanako up. Isabella sees this when she returns. "Why are you back now?" "I've decided to live with her." "You disobedient brat. Get out of here." Oscar walks toward Isabella with a knife. "Enough. Do you really think you're my sister? Just because I didn't do what you wanted." Luckily, Hanako was only pretending to be stunned. She grabs the taser and stuns Oscar. Isabella is still shocked. Asanuma arrives late. Hanako tells Asanuma to tie Oscar up. Then she asks Risa to call the police. Risa asks how Hanako stopped. Oscar turns out Hanako was prepared. She wore insulated clothing. "Wow, you predicted this." Isabella apologizes. She shouldn't have doubted them. Hanako says it doesn't matter. First pay the fee. She asks Asanuma to explain the charges. Now, base fee, 100,000 yen. Express service, 50,000 yen. Student discount, 70%. Total, 45,000 yen. You can also pay in installments. Isabella is even more confused now. Isabella asks Hanako why she does such a risky job and why she charges so little. It's like doing charity work. Hanako says she simply wants to help people in need. Just then Oscar wakes up and finds himself tied up, unable to move. Hanako shows him a photo of Linka. She asks if he's ever seen this girl among the kids he's taken in. Oscar glances at the photo. Then he frantically tells Hanako he only takes in girls who feel like little sisters, like you, for example. This means the search for Linka hits another dead end. Soon they get another case. How creepy can a copycat be? She copies everything you do, wears the same lipstick, eats the same diet meals. If you like a bag, she buys it too. Even if you get a new haircut, she copies it exactly. She wants to be your carbon copy. She wants everything you have. Emma is dealing with this problem. A new coworker, Charlotte, joined her company. She thinks Emma's makeup style is nice, so she asks Emma to teach her makeup tips. At first Emma thinks Charlotte just admires her style, so she shares her makeup tips. But Charlotte has no boundaries. She copies everything on purpose. Because of their different personalities, the lively Charlotte is more popular with male coworkers. Emma starts feeling left out. Charlotte even brags to Emma without shame. Charlotte says, "They praised me again today." Emma decides to let it go to avoid trouble. Emma doesn't want to argue, but because of this Charlotte becomes even worse. She isn't happy just copying Emma's makeup. She starts copying Emma's habits too. Emma feels like she can't breathe. Charlotte says, "Good morning, how do I look? Does this style suit me?" This time Emma can't take it anymore. Emma says, "Please stop. You're copying everything I do." But the male co-workers all take Charlotte's side. They say she can wear what she wants. They say Emma shouldn't judge her. They blame Emma for being petty, smooth-talking. Charlotte always gets away with it. To keep the peace at work, Emma has to apologize to Charlotte. Emma says, "I was being petty. I'm sorry." Slowly Emma becomes an outsider at work. Risa says, "That's so gross." Suddenly Hanako appears behind Risa. She interrupts their talk. Risa quickly moves aside. Hanako hands Emma a business card and tells her to be quick. After work Emma complains to her boyfriend, but he doesn't understand. He thinks being copied is a good thing. At least it means she has good taste. But the next day Sam, who never picks her up from work, shows up outside her office. It's obvious why he wants to see what Charlotte looks like. Charlotte acts friendly, as usual. She greets Sam warmly. Charlotte says, "I'm Emma's co-worker, Charlotte." Sam says, "Hi, I'm Sam Hamana." Charlotte says, "I didn't know your boyfriend was so handsome. You never mentioned him before." When Charlotte praises him, Sam gets carried away. Emma senses things are going wrong and wants to leave, but Charlotte suggests they all have dinner together. Sam agrees without thinking. Then he asks Emma if she's okay with it. Sam says, "You don't mind, right?" Emma says, "Mm." Within minutes Sam and Charlotte act more like a couple. Emma is left out. Soon Sam starts ignoring Emma. He's always busy or working late. He even misses Emma's birthday. Emma knows what's happening, but she tries to convince herself otherwise. She hopes she's just overthinking things, until one day, outside Sam's place, she sees him with Charlotte. Emma is furious, but her shyness stops her from confronting them. She runs away instead. Slowly, Charlotte replaces Emma in everything, at work and in life. Emma hates her own weakness. She wants to change, but can't even take the first step. She ends up blaming herself for everything. Then one day, she sees Hanako's agency ad. If someone can steal her boyfriend, she'll make Charlotte feel the same pain. Asanuma asks Emma for details about Sam. Emma shows them his social media, Sam Hamana salesperson. As Hanako checks his profile, her analysis system starts working. Sam likes cool, unique girls who are sweet but independent. He smiles like a puppy sometimes. He loves anime rock bands and is obsessed with the lead singer of Magical Girl Band. That's amazing. Because the last attempt failed, Risa asks Hanako for another chance. Hanako hands her a poster. She tells Risa to wait at the bar. This weekend Sam will definitely come to watch the band perform. Risa says, "Thanks, I won't let you down." Originally, Sam and Emma planned to watch the show together, but Emma tells Sam she has to work overtime and can't go, since Emma still has the tickets. Sam checks the time. It's too late now. As he sadly turns to leave, Risa bumps into him. Following Hanako's advice, Risa dresses like a cool girl, but her lipstick stains Sam's clothes. She ignores it and sticks to the plan. If Sam likes her, he won't care about the lipstick mark. Risa says, "Oops, sorry." Sam says, "What are you doing? Things don't go as planned." Risa remembers the tip about smiling like a puppy and forces an awkward grin. Risa says, "Let me treat you to dinner if you're free." Sam says, "Shouldn't you fix my clothes first?" Risa says, "I'll clean it for you." Sam says, "Don't touch me. What's wrong with you?" Hanako says, "Excuse me." Hanako shows up just in time. She offers to pay for the damage. Hanako says, "She's my friend." Risa finally relaxes. At the same time, Asanuma calls. He tells Risa her part is done. She needs to find an excuse to return to the office. So Risa fakes a stomachache and leaves. Seeing Risa go, Sam also prepares to leave. Hinako asks how to fix his clothes. She says she happens to have 2 tickets. As an apology, she invites him to watch the show together. Sam says his clothes aren't very dirty. He can just wipe them clean. The show is about to start. Hinako pulls Sam into the bar. They order 2 drinks. Then she takes a photo with her phone. Sam doesn't notice. Under the dim lights, and with the alcohol, Sam quickly falls for Hinako's charm. Hinako asks, "What? Is there something on my face?" Sam says, "No, nothing." Hinako has drawn a fake beauty mark. This is why Risa failed. Risa returns to the office. She prints out all the information. She tries to figure out where she went wrong. Asanuma comforts Risa. Meanwhile, he anonymously sends Charlotte the photo Hinako took. When Charlotte sees the photo, she notices the hand isn't Emma's. This means Sam might have a new girlfriend. She rushes to Sam's house for answers. Sam asks, "Charlotte, why are you here?" Charlotte demands, "Who's the woman in your bed?" Sam doesn't explain. He tells Charlotte to leave. Charlotte yells, "Give me an answer, you cheater." Sam tells her to stop acting like his girlfriend. She's just a cheap copy of Emma. He just wanted to try something different. His words cut through Charlotte's hopes. She stumbles out with her bag. Sam turns back to Hinako, but she's already dressed. Hinako says, "I'm leaving." Sam asks, Why? Wait, what's wrong, why?" Hinako tells Sam to study time management properly. She doesn't want to be with someone who can't handle complicated relationships. The next morning, Emma arrives at work. Charlotte looks upset and apologizes to her. Charlotte says, "I'm sorry." At first, she only admired Emma's style and saw her as someone to learn from, but slowly forgot her original intention. She even wanted to replace Emma. Emma doesn't fully forgive Charlotte, but after thinking about it, she realizes her own style wasn't natural either. She was inspired by others too. That's what made her who she is today. Everyone copies others in some way. They just want to improve themselves. Risa's ex-boyfriend feels bitter. After breaking up with Hinako, he writes to a newspaper to expose them. He thinks he fell into a honey trap. His girlfriend was fighting with him. Then suddenly Risa's high school best friend appeared. He couldn't resist and started dating her, but they broke up after a few months. The more he thinks, the stranger it seems. He asks Risa's high school classmates, but no one knows anyone named Hinako. She seems very professional. There must be other victims. He hopes a reporter will investigate. The reporter thinks for a moment. His editor needs stories. It's not a big case, but it's better than nothing. He asks Risa's ex for more information. Risa and another woman named Hinako. Risa's ex shows the reporter photos with Risa. Meanwhile, Hinako is handling an international case. Her client is a woman from the Philippines. Asanuma asks Joanna to explain the situation, but Joanna doesn't trust this so-called snatch agency. Deep down, Asanuma finds it hard to explain everything right now, so he tells Joanna to just talk like she's chatting with friends. They are good listeners. Joanna has been in Japan for 12 years. At first, she worked at a restaurant. There, she met her now husband Henry. Back then, Henry treated her very well. When he found out Joanna was pregnant, he married her without hesitation. He also let her stay home as a full-time housewife. But things didn't stay good. After the baby stopped breastfeeding, Henry started finding faults in everything Joanna did. Henry says, "I'm going to take a bath." Joanna says, "Oh, I forgot to heat the water." Henry says, "Huh." Joanna says, "Just press the switch yourself." Henry says, "Huh, are you telling me what to do? You knew I'd be back tonight, right?" Joanna says, "Our son was fussy today. I got distracted." Henry says, "Pressing a switch takes 1 second. Don't blame the kid." Joanna says, "Sorry." Henry says, "Don't say sorry to me. Do I really have to teach you basic things? You can't even do housework right as a housewife. Aren't you ashamed? You don't work. Should I just support you for free?" Henry criticizes Joanna over every little thing, but to keep the peace, Joanna stays quiet. A year ago, Henry's emotional abuse got worse. He starts insulting Joanna as a person. Henry says, "Look how old you've gotten. Who are you putting makeup on for? Look at your greasy belly." Joanna endures the daily verbal abuse for their child's sake, but recently Henry starts hitting her. Joanna can't take it anymore, so she moves out with her child. Later she stays at a friend's house with her child, but one day Henry takes the child while Joanna is out. Asanuma explains from a legal perspective, Joanna broke the law by taking her son without permission. So after Henry files a lawsuit, Joanna might be sent back to the Philippines. From the pretrial mediation information, Joanna is accused of child abuse. After checking, neighbors often heard the child crying inside the house. Joanna says, "I was just angry at that time. All parents do that sometimes." The mediator says, "We also heard you complained. I wish I never had you. Why should a mother who doesn't love her child get custody?" Facing the mediator's strong accusations, Joanna can't say anything. Back outside, Joanna asks Henry, "You're always so busy with work. How can you take care of our son?" Henry tells Joanna, "That's not your problem. If the mother doesn't get custody, he won't have to pay child support. You won't get a single penny." Later, Henry brings his mother home to help take care of the child. This way, the court will see the living situation as acceptable. It's almost impossible for Joanna to get custody through legal ways. Asanuma asks Hinako to think of a way. Hinako asks, "Ms. Joanna, are you sure you want my help?" Hinako asks Asanuma to explain the fees, because this case involves getting her husband back and later fighting for child custody. Besides the basic fee of 100,000 yen, there's an extra 30,000 yen for after service. Joanna gets upset after hearing this. She questions if this office scams foreigners. "We don't only work with foreigners." Joanna keeps doubting how Hinako can succeed. "Don't worry about that. If you can do it, so can I." For Hinako, the hardest part is getting custody, but there's always a way. Hinako analyzes the data and finds a solution. Henry likes women who used to be kindergarten teachers, work as office ladies, and have blood type O. They should be 80% motherly and 20% childlike, elegant yet sexy. A perfect woman who always looks her best. While Hinako sets up the love trap, gossip reporter Tom has been watching The Office for days with no parenting experience. Henry and his mom struggle with everything. "Excuse me, Hinako pretends to ask for directions. To talk to Henry. The place is a hard-to-find restaurant. Henry can't explain the way clearly, so Hinako asks him to guide her at the restaurant. Asanuma calls. He says he's sick and can't come. Hinako explains this to Henry. She thanks him for guiding her even though it was for nothing. Risa greets them. "Welcome." She secretly works there as a waitress. Hinako takes the chance. She says the place is hard to book. Why not eat together? It's her way of thanking him. If his wife is strict, he doesn't have to stay. Henry quickly says he's divorced. Hinako says, "Oh, I'm sorry." Henry says, "I could use a drink. Let's go in." Hinako is well prepared. She casually mentions she was a kindergarten teacher. She loves kids, but because of her job, she gets creepy calls from dads. Many parents also act like monster parents. Henry says, "That's true, my ex-wife was like that. If our child got even a small injury, she would keep calling the kindergarten." Hinako says, "Oh, you have a child." Henry says, "Yeah, he's 8 this year." With some drinks they open up and talk freely. Risa keeps recommending more drinks to them. Before they know it, Henry, who already likes Hinako, drops all his guard. They get him drunk and call a taxi to send him home. This is step 1 of Hinako's plan. Next is winning over Henry's mom. But everything they do is secretly filmed by reporter Tom. Things start getting interesting. Tom is surprised to find this group profits by tricking bad men, though this target is older than usual. As a professional at this, Hinako quickly pulls Henry into her sweet trap. While taking drunk Henry home, she also wins his mom's first approval. From the pile of dirty dishes in the sink, it's clear Henry's mom struggles alone with the grandson. Hinako casually mentions she used to be a kindergarten teacher. From photos in the house, she spots which baseball club Henry's son attends. If I remember right, it's at Tobe Field. Class is every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Right now Henry's mom really needs help with picking up the child. Next morning, hungover, Henry wakes up to his mom telling him to thank Hinako. Mom says, "Hinako stayed late last night to help clean." Really, she's a great listener. "We talked for almost an hour. If you had met Hinako earlier, you wouldn't have so many troubles." Now it seems Hinako has won his mother's approval. Henry quickly checks his phone. Hinako has already sent him a caring text. After that, Henry suddenly feels very attractive. After just a few days together, Hinako starts visiting Henry's house often as his girlfriend. Joanna is surprised when she hears this. "Henry is in love with you. He says I'm different from his ex-wife. He even says he wishes he had met me first." Joanna awkwardly changes the subject and asks about their son. Hinako says Henry does no housework or childcare at home, which stresses his mother out. This is exactly what Joanna expected. She knows how useless her ex-husband is. Hinako is confident she can win custody. But Joanna's top priority is getting a residence visa for Japan. Joanna says she's been trying hard to handle this, but it's not easy. Meanwhile, their conversation is being eavesdropped by Tom. A few days earlier, Tom planted a listening device in Risa's bag. Next Thursday is the last chance for mediation. Joanna seems worried. If she doesn't get custody by then, everything she's done will be pointless. Hinako tells her not to worry. She's ready to make her move. Henry's mom recently noticed Hinako isn't the same as when they first met. She doesn't do housework and she leaves her shoes lying around. Henry defends Hinako, saying, "Mom, you said the same things about Joanna." He tells his mom not to be so picky. No one in the world can be perfect. Just then Hinako rings the doorbell. Henry asks his mom to let go of her bias against Hinako. He doesn't want to spend the rest of his life alone. After all, Hinako could become Ben's stepmom. Their conversation is accidentally overheard by his son. Aunt Hinako is here. Remember to greet her later. Seeing Ben still looking upset, Hinako tries to talk to him, but Ben acts very annoyed. Henry quickly explains that Ben is still young and doesn't understand. Hinako doesn't want to hear it. She angrily gets up and leaves. She tells Henry she can feel Ben's dislike for her to live with Henry. She has tried hard to please Ben, but she's not his real mother. The thought of their future life upsets her. Meanwhile, Ben complains to his grandma. He can't accept Hinako as his stepmom. Ben says, "Mom left because of Dad. It's all his fault. I hate you all." On the day of the mediation, Henry looks distracted and troubled. The mediator asks him, is it true that Joanna abused the child? Recently, they received reports that contradict Henry's claims. Henry's lawyer says it's not credible. He thinks Joanna arranged fake evidence. But the mediator says the testimony comes from Henry's mother. Henry's mother's statement says, "I think she's a good mother. She gives up her own time to take care of the family. As for abusing or yelling at Ben, she guarantees it never happened." She also supports Joanna getting custody, and Henry can provide financial support. This is the best outcome in my opinion. So Joanna gets custody, as she wanted. Henry excitedly shares the good news with Hinako. Now they can be together without any problems. Hinako says, "You abandoned your child." Henry says, "I did it for you." Hinako says, "I was just complaining. I didn't think you'd really abandon your child. That's disgusting." Henry says, "Wait a minute." But Hinako already hangs up the phone. The case ends successfully. Joanna also finds a job in Japan. Hinako is about to take a day off, then someone knocks on the office door. It's the reporter Tom. He has already edited his secret recordings into a news article. If he publishes it, the social impact will be bad. The way the office handled this case by getting close to Henry illegally and affecting the court's decision will be investigated. They might even be accused of fraud. Tom asks Hinako, "How much do you charge?" 100,000 yen basic fee, plus 30,000 yen for after service. Tom looks surprised. Such high risk for such low pay. He wonders why Hinako runs this kind of office. There must be another reason behind it. Hinako stays quiet for a moment. Then she takes out a photo. She tells Tom, "I didn't start this office. The real founder is a girl named Linka. I was an orphan. I ran away because the orphanage treated me badly. Then I met Linka by chance. She took me into the office. Linka started this office to help people. The law can't help." Over time, Hinako learns from Linka by following her around. She helps with small tasks. Then one day, Linka disappears while out on a job. I continue running the office to honor her wishes. While searching for her, after learning the truth, Tom suddenly gets excited. His reporter instincts tell him, there might be a bigger story behind this. When he hears Linka disappeared in May 4 years ago, Tom pauses for a moment. Tom says, "Maybe. I have a lead." Soon they get another case. Many people with severe depression are controlled by dark thoughts. Dangerous ideas come to their minds. Their survival instinct keeps saving them from death, but the constant emotional struggle eventually pushes them into darkness. Because of these feelings, some suicide groups form. They create chat groups and websites to discuss ending their lives. In this dark online forum, a strange office ad catches a girl's attention. Most depressed people share one trait. They're too kind and responsible. Lisa is like this too. She worries her boyfriend will be sad after she dies. So she calls the office. She wants Hinako to steal her boyfriend so she can die without worries. But when they see the boyfriend's photo, Hinako and Risa are shocked. It's Asanuma. They quickly call Asanuma. They tell him to take a paid day off. The office closes for the day. "Please don't come here today." From Lisa's story, a car accident 2 years ago left her with many broken bones. During rehab, she fell by accident. That's when she met Asanuma, who was also recovering. Kind and simple Asanuma forgot he was a patient too. He tried to help Lisa up, but they both fell down. They became friends and often encouraged each other. Back then she dreamed of being a pianist. Asanuma wanted to be a lawyer after graduation. Their short time in the hospital made their feelings grow quickly. After leaving the hospital, they started dating. Asanuma recovered fast, but Lisa had lasting problems. Her dream of being a pianist was gone. Seeing Asanuma get closer to his dream, Lisa felt more and more worthless. She often worried she wasn't good enough for Asanuma. Later she couldn't control her emotions. She tried to hurt herself many times. Lisa knew it was wrong, but she couldn't stop. Even so, kind Asanuma stayed by her side, encouraging her and never leaving. But the nicer Asanuma was, the guiltier Lisa felt. She wanted to break up, but couldn't say it. If Hinako could really take Asanuma away, that would be the best outcome. After hearing Lisa's story, Hinako understands the situation. She takes the job without hesitation, but she has one condition: stay alive until the job is done. The agency only gets paid after success. Hinako wants Lisa to honor the deal. Lisa says she understands. Until Hinako succeeds in taking Asanuma away, Hinako wants Lisa to stop thinking about ending her life. After analyzing, Hinako comes to a conclusion. Asanuma likes women aged 23 to 34. He prefers women who make him feel protective, but as time passes he prefers partners who support each other. He doesn't care about looks compared to slightly chubby. He likes slim girls more. Medium chest size, C-cup is ideal. Hinako meets most of these conditions. But since it's Asanuma, the difficulty level is still devil mode. But Hinako has a plan. Being around Lisa, who's always stressed, will naturally affect Asanuma's mood. This is her chance. Risa asks Hinako what she'll do if Asanuma really falls for her. Hinako says it's just a job. Risa says that's true, but will she dump him afterwards? That would be awkward. Hinako asks, shouldn't I dump him? Risa thinks it would be awkward. Hinako says finishing the job comes first. They'll talk about other things later. The next day at work, Risa keeps glancing at Asanuma. Asanuma asks what's wrong. Risa says it's nothing. The atmosphere gets awkward. Then Hinako arrives. Asanuma points out food on her mouth. Hinako says she was in a hurry. She didn't notice. That's unusual. Risa knows this must be Hinako's trick to get closer. Right at that moment Hinako gets a text message. Reporter Tom tells her he found some clues. They are about Linka's disappearance. Hinako asks Asanuma if he can go with her to meet Tom. Asanuma agrees, but he feels a bit confused. Before, Hinako never liked people following her. She always acted alone. Hinako says she doesn't know Tom well, so having a man with her makes her feel safer. Asanuma says, I understand. Hinako says, thanks. Then they leave to meet Tom. Suddenly Risa calls out to Asanuma, but she hesitates to speak. Risa says, be careful. Asanuma looks confused and responds. Then he asks why she only told him to be careful. Risa says, of course Hinako too. Bye. Risa looks upset like a child left at home by her parents. Tom thinks Linka's disappearance might be connected to a man named Peter. Peter's friends call him Otter. Tom has no solid proof, so he hasn't written about it. But his recent research shows Peter worked at a concrete factory 4 years ago. The factory later closed. Then he worked at a printing company, but Peter quit suddenly a year ago. They say it was for personal reasons. No one knows the details. Tom kindly warns Hinako. Otter is a dangerous man. He's very cautious. If he notices you, it could be risky. Hinako says, it's fine. Though Hinako tries to act calm, on the outside, Asanuma notices something is wrong. Hinako's nervous hands are gripping the hem of her clothes. This makes Asanuma want to protect her even more. On their way back, Hinako hesitantly asks Asanuma if he can join her for field work tomorrow. Before she even finishes speaking, Asanuma firmly tells her not to worry. He promises to go with her. Asanuma says Hinako is really brave. Even though she knows the dangers ahead, she doesn't back down at all. Hinako says she's not as strong as Asanuma thinks. She gets scared too and wants to give up. But Linka's clue is right in front of her. She has to find the courage to investigate. If she backs down now, everything she's done so far will be pointless. Meanwhile, Lisa at home is looking at photos of her and Asanuma. Her inner demons attack her again at this moment. Asanuma rushes home and holds her tight to comfort her. Though he's used to this situation, it still drains him completely. Meanwhile, Lisa seems calm on the outside, but dark thoughts creep into her mind again. The next day, at the docks, Hinako notices Asanuma looks exhausted. She gently massages his shoulders to help him relax. Asanuma says it's okay and tries to stop her. Hinako tells him to relax, and stay still. After resting for a while, they go to the printing factory where Peter used to work, maybe because he's being careful. The factory manager refuses to share any information. Hinako warns the manager. Peter is involved in an important case. If he hides information, he could face legal trouble. The manager asks if that's true. Hinako gives Asanuma a look. After hesitating, Asanuma backs her up. Article 38 of the Labor Standards Act clearly states the rules. It's not the factory manager's fault. He doesn't know much about the law. Instead of getting into unnecessary trouble, it's better to cooperate with Hinako and her team. The manager says, "Come with me for a moment." Hinako gives Asanuma a thankful look. The manager tells Hinako and the others that Peter left the factory because he stole things. He took many chemicals from the factory. Meanwhile, Risa, who stayed at home, still can't accept that Hinako wants to be with Asanuma. Just at that moment, the office email receives a message. Lisa suddenly asks them to cancel the request. Confused, Risa calls Lisa to confirm. But Lisa doesn't know how to explain her mixed feelings, so she doesn't answer Risa's call. Then a man in black sits down beside her. It's Peter, the man Hinako is looking for. That night when Lisa had a breakdown, she posted her wish to die on a suicide assistance forum. This caught Peter's attention. He claims he can help Lisa leave this world without pain. Peter puts Lisa into an electrified pool. He picks up a conductive rod and tells her to close her eyes, as Lisa requested. Peter will help her go to the other world in a painless way. A strong electric current passes through her body in an instant. She won't feel any pain at all. Meanwhile, Risa calls Hinako to tell her that Lisa has canceled the request. No one knows why her phone can't be reached. Hinako has a bad feeling. The request isn't completed yet. If she tells Asanuma the truth now, it will ruin her perfect, 100% success rate. But the situation might be connected to Peter. A life is at stake, so Hinako doesn't have time to think too much. Asanuma asks, "Is something wrong?" Hinako asks, "Can you confirm her whereabouts?" Asanuma asks, "Who do you mean?" Hinako says Lisa. When Asanuma hears Lisa's name, he freezes completely, remembering Hinako's strange behavior. Lately, he quickly realizes that he is now Hinako's target. A wave of discomfort washes over him. Hinako says there's no time to explain and will talk later. The most urgent thing is to find Lisa first. Luckily, Asanuma installed a tracking app on Lisa's phone. Hinako immediately calls Risa for backup. Following the signal, the three meet at an abandoned factory. Hinako remembers reporter Tom once told her that Peter used to work at a concrete factory. Later the factory closed. Putting everything together, Hinako is even more certain that Lisa's disappearance is linked to Peter. Luckily, the three arrive just in time. Hinako confirms the man in front of her is the dangerous person. Tom mentioned Peter, nicknamed Otter. Like villains in movies, Peter rambles on at Hinako and the others, blaming everything on society. He claims society ignores the weak, so he helps those who want to die out of kindness. After the villain's speech, the hero's persuasion skill activates. Hinako tells Lisa not to give up on life. No matter how bad things are now, remember there are people who care about you. Lisa, don't die. Seeing the sincerity in Asanuma's eyes, Lisa feels overwhelmed with love. Lisa sits up and pushes Peter away. Then she runs to Asanuma without thinking. Hinako uses this chance to jump at Peter. They start wrestling. Peter picks up a stun gun from the floor. He slowly walks toward Hinako in the pool. When Risa snaps out of it, she immediately runs to the power switch. She tries to cut the electricity at the last moment. She's 1 second too late. Hinako gets shocked. Asanuma sees this happen. He lets go of Lisa and runs to Hinako. He carries the unconscious Hinako out of the pool right away. He does CPR and mouth-to-mouth. Thanks to Asanuma's help, Hinako wakes up. Everyone finally relaxes. Hinako says, "I thought I was going to die." Asanuma pulls Hinako into a tight hug. Asanuma says, "Thank goodness." Still shaken, Hinako hugs him back. Lisa now feels like she's in the way. After turning Peter over to the police, Lisa gathers her courage to break up with Asanuma. Lisa says she finally understands her feelings weren't love, just dependence. When Asanuma pushed her away to run to Hinako, she felt nothing, not even jealousy. She doesn't deny she once loved Asanuma, but after getting sick, Lisa says, "I just needed someone to lean on. And Asanuma happened to be there. So I used these feelings. I'm sorry for being so selfish." Asanuma says that by Lisa's logic, he was also using these feelings after failing his first law exam after college. He met Lisa at the hospital when he felt hopeless. He is drawn to how Lisa shines when chasing her dreams. This gives him confidence again. Because of this connection, he can't just leave Lisa behind. Otherwise, he would seem like a bad person to keep playing the good guy role. He stays by Lisa's side without complaining. So he's actually selfish too. I'm sorry. Risa suddenly feels sad. She says, "You two are perfect for each other. I can't accept that you're breaking up." Hinako tells Risa to cheer up. Many people who can't be lovers still support each other. If you don't give up, good things will come your way. Days later, Tom tells Hinako's group that police found Peter killed at least 8 girls in 4 years, but Linka isn't among them. Linka would never kill herself. Thanks to the agency, Tom became famous again for reporting this case. Hearing this, Asanuma hints Tom should show gratitude. Tom says, I know the rules. He shares some Joanna photos with Hinako's group. After that job, he kept following her story. Joanna's family now gets along well. Tom says the agency helps society. Asanuma adds that after that job, Lisa's life improved. She's getting proper treatment. Now Risa thanks the agency for helping her grow. What a sly reporter. Asked to show thanks, he changes the subject. Risa says, he's running away. Asanuma says, hey, what about our reward? Hinako says, stop it, this is embarrassing. Asanuma says, I can't live on honor alone, Miss Hinako. The story ends with Hinako and Asanuma bickering. Risa, who's been watching, still thinks about their recent mission. Their hug that day looked too real. If Hinako was just completing her mission, her great acting skills are no surprise. But Asanuma also acted so naturally. Asanuma says, oh, I was acting too. Asanuma quickly tries to explain. He knew Hinako's target was him before going to the factory. No way he'd fall for the trap. He just pretended to lose on purpose. He wanted to protect Hinako's perfect mission record. Just then the agency phone rings again. It's Linka, the friend Hinako has been searching for. She wants to hire Hinako to steal from a tough target. I understand. Can you tell me more details? I promise. I can steal him for you.